Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm going to wait for people to hop on as usual. I just wanted to touch base real quick with everybody. I only have a little bit less than an hour. We'll say 45 minutes here to just kind of tap into these energies for you guys. We're going to pull some cards. We're going to see how everybody's doing. We are coming up on that powerful conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus. And I don't think I've done anything about it on TikTok yet, but I do have a couple videos that I just released on YouTube regarding this energy. It is absolutely huge. We're beginning a brand new 12-year cycle. And this is the first time in 84 years that we've experienced Jupiter and Uranus conjunct in the sign of Taurus. So this is a big fucking deal, you guys. Hello, and thank you so much, Dominic, for sending all those roses. I love you so much. You're so awesome. Appreciate you. Hello, Kyle. Hello, Oakdale Curtis. Hello, Ali Orchid and Vita over on the YouTube chat. It's great to see everybody here. I'm really excited. So I'm actually I'm in between things right now. I'm taking a course right now to learn how to put together a truly stellar membership program for everyone, those on YouTube. And I did, people on TikTok are probably aware that this is going on as well. I started a Patreon group, and it is a beautiful space for us to connect with each other. The group hangouts are really fun. The live energy activation calls are beautiful, but it doesn't hold the type of value that I really want to offer you guys. And it was a stepping stone to get us to where we're going, but I'm dedicated to creating something really powerful and really beautiful for everyone, where we can really connect and expand with each other, grow with each other, where I can start teaching some of these core concepts that we talk about a lot on here and help people to apply them consistently in their lives. So that's kind of like my baby right now that I'm in the process of birthing, and it's going to be a while in the making. In the meantime, we do have the Patreon. And then I will be converting over to and like this next evolution of energy in due time. So I've been learning about that. I've been taking my other course. I've been very, very busy, also sort of refining, getting my my one-on-one coaching sort of fine-tuned and ready to go. So a lot of powerful, exciting stuff that I'm going to be offering everybody, new ways that I'm called to serve this beautiful collective. And of course, continuing to make videos and bring you guys the information, keep you updated on the energies. There's been so many powerful downloads pouring in regarding what's going on this planet right now and all the ways that we are growing and evolving in consciousness. It's absolutely huge. So I thought that I had a little bit of time here to hop on and just connect with you guys and see how everyone's doing. Like I said, pull a few cards for you. Not doing individual readings for people on TikTok. We do not have time for that today. This is going to be more of a collective check-in point, if you will, where we're going to be pulling for the collective energy and just the messages that the collective that is currently watching, the messages you guys need to hear, the messages we all need to hear. I am part of this collective. And so I need to hear these messages as much as anybody else when they come out. Sometimes it's honestly kind of ridiculous, like the messages that come through and how powerfully they resonate for me as well. So it's really beautiful. You guys are also beautiful. I love you so much. How are you feeling? How are you feeling since the eclipse? If you guys didn't check out the video that I posted on YouTube regarding the downloads that I received and the ways that the world changed during the solar eclipse, go ahead and check that out. Everybody on TikTok, the link is in my bio on my link tree for my YouTube. It is so incredibly powerful. These powerful templates that we're shifting, that relational dynamic between the masculine and the feminine, the ways that inverted programming has been deleted, the ways that, what was the other one? Oh, healing the wound of separation. Of course, the most important one I forgot. Just huge stuff. And of course, like, we're still in the process of internalizing and integrating that and what that means, right? So we're not going to see all the evidence of it right off the bat. Although I think that during that eclipse, some of us could feel that energy, right? We could feel that lightness. We could feel those releases. We could feel those openings being created. And this beautiful, it was just such an anchoring point for the new earth, for these beautiful interdimensional templates, these higher dimensional templates, that we as the light workers, as the way showers, we are the ones that are here to assist in integrating and anchoring these templates in, so that the rest of the collective can follow. So it's really big stuff, you guys, really big stuff. And now with this conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus, we are really stepping it up. This is a brand new cycle of abundance. This is where innovations and breakthroughs are imminent, right? The reading that I did, that I also posted on YouTube. I'm sorry, TikTok. I post some stuff for you guys. I will, like I said, I've been really, really busy with all of the courses and all the learning and all the different stuff that I've been doing over the past few weeks. But I will be posting more of that stuff for you guys on TikTok as well. But you can catch it all on YouTube. I really encourage anybody who enjoys this channel to go ahead and check me out on YouTube, because that's where you're going to get the really in-depth readings. You're going to get the really in-depth energy updates and all of that good stuff. I apologize to everyone on TikTok. I wasn't going live on TikTok for a while because my technology was failing me a little bit and I wasn't able to multitask like I'm doing right now. Hello, Hope. Hello, Dar. Welcome to, or I almost said welcome to see you. It's so good to see you. Stanley, Timothy, I see you there in the YouTube chat. You've been bitchy and hungry, Vita says. Me too. Not so much. I mean, honestly, I'll be real with you guys. Bitchy is kind of like my baseline state. I mean, I do the best that I can. And I don't mean like I'm rude to people or anything like that. It's not that way. It's just like this underlying state of like semi-irritability. And I don't fall into that. And you know, it's hard to describe. It's kind of the baseline, right? So, but the hungry, absolutely. I've been eating everything in sight. It's so funny. My boyfriend was getting a little concerned about that, and I reminded him that I had some of my parts removed, so we don't have to worry about pregnancy or anything like that. I was like, it's the energies, man. It is these energies are just, it's because, so this is kind of the conundrum of it, and how, welcome, Michael. It's like our energy bodies are growing so rapidly, and we have so much shifting at a DNA level and a cellular level that I think that's what's making us hungry. Our bodies are requiring more fuel. Unfortunately, being that we are only human, right? The kind of fuel that our bodies are desiring and what we're actually giving them or craving may be very different. So I think if we were able to really just give our bodies what they actually wanted, which is probably like tons of nutrients, as opposed to just eating perhaps the sugary things or the things that we're just craving on like a baseline, like more human 3D nature, if you, for lack of a better term right now. We might be a little bit less hungry, but for me, it's just been like eating all kinds of different stuff, like sugar. For some reason, I've craved sugar. So I don't know what we do in this regard. Do we just trust the process? Do we probably make that concerted effort also to be healthier? I would think probably, right? Make sure that we're drinking plenty of water. Michael asked, did you see the eclipse? I saw the end of it. I wasn't able to see the totality of it because I was putting my son to bed. And so I'm not really sure. As far as, and what I mean by that, I'm sorry, I got distracted because somebody asked, am I pregnant on the TikTok chat? And I would say your best bet is to get a test. That is the tried and true way to determine that. That's not something that I would necessarily read for right now. But I just think it's funny that you asked that right after I was joking around about how my partner had joked about that because I was so hungry this past week. Go ahead and take all the guesswork out of it. That's something you really don't want to ask a reader about. You want to like get the answer. Like you really want to know so that you know like what's the move from there. What are we doing? What's going on here? That's a big thing there. And so, but what I was going to say was talking about the eclipse. So Aurora, Michael, you'll find this really interesting. Rising Phoenix Aurora, who I learned aura hypnosis healing from, as well as the raw Reiki entity removal that I practice. Really powerful modalities that I recommend to everybody at any point in time. It's so important that we clean up our energy in that way, that we get rid of these attachments. And also that we have that opportunity to receive that quantum healing and to get a deeper understanding of who we are on a soul level. But so she watched the entire eclipse without any, and I'm not a doctor. I am not endorsing anything that I'm discussing right now. I'm simply sharing information. So she has a post, actually, if you look up her YouTube channel, about watching the eclipse from watching the totality of the eclipse without the eye gear or any of that stuff on, and the way that she felt the cellular activations going all the way through her eyes, into her brain, throughout her entire body, and the powerful crystallization of her DNA and of her cellular structure that she experienced from that. So that was really, really powerful. And remember, we live in an inverted matrix. And so that means the opposite of what they tell us is usually the truth. So they tell us this is really, really dangerous. This is really, really bad for us. It's up to everyone to decide. I didn't quite have the courage to do that, honestly, because I'm still a little bit like, yeah, I don't know. But she shared a really interesting experience with that. So I would encourage anyone to look her up on YouTube and check out that post that she made going over her experience with that. I'm pretty sure it might have been, I think she started writing about it on YouTube and then it was linked to her website to finish reading it was like a blog post that she did, but really, really fascinating stuff. And she's been talking about this for a while, which is what made me curious, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. And then my son kept me inside until the totality was over. So I came out at the end of it and I was able to sit and absorb the rays. And Michael, did you watch the video that I did, 3 ways the world changed after the total solar eclipse? If you haven't watched that yet, Michael, check that out. It was really, really powerful stuff. I talked about the 2 collective wounds that were healed during that eclipse, as well as the removal of the inverted programming within us. So it was a really, really powerful. So, oh my God, you guys. And this energy is just going to continue, right? I did another video, and everyone on TikTok, check this out as well, talking about the 2027 and 2034 set of eclipses, which are part of this Hepton cycle of eclipses that the 2017 and the 2024 solar eclipse that we just had were also a part of. They're the final eclipses in that Hepton cycle, also spaced 7 years apart. And they will be creating an X or a Tav over they're going to be spanning across Africa, across the Middle East. The paths of totality are going right through Mecca during the 2027 and through Medina during the 2034, which are the 2 holy cities of Islam. They're crossing in Egypt. The exact point of apex of the cross is the Red Sea, but it's also the paths of totality, the lines of the X, they fall through the very end or edge of Egypt there on the southern tip, where you find Luxor, where you find inland a little bit, the Valley of the Kings. And it was really fascinating. I talked about in that video the significance of how the 2017 and 2024 eclipses, when you look at the apex of the X that they create across America, it lands on a section of southern Illinois known as Little Egypt. So we have Little Egypt in the United States, and the town that is located there is actually referred to as the Star of Egypt. And then in 2027 and 2034, the actual country of Egypt is within the apex. So this is a big stuff, and I get more deeply into it in the video. But this is like the big daddy as far as these ascension energies are concerned. And this is like, these eclipses are a huge part of the bifurcation, the splitting off of the realities, the 3D, the inverted, and the organic. It's just like I cannot overemphasize how powerful and impactful and important what just happened with that eclipse was. And the thing is, people expect like some wild thing to happen exactly on the moment of the eclipse, right? And they try to instill a lot of fear, because what they were trying to do was they were trying to usurp the timeline. The darker entities and energies that control that did control the matrix up until now, right? Because they don't anymore. They want control back. They're trying to create a timeline of fear, right? So they instill all this fear in us around what's going to happen during the eclipse, right? Oh my God, it's the end of days. It's, we're employing the National Guard in Ohio. All the things that they did, that was to create fear, okay? But it didn't work. It doesn't matter. Like, what happened was just a deeper anchoring in of these ascension energies and a more powerful splitting off of the realities. And we're going to be feeling this and seeing this more and more as we move forward. This energy that we really started seeing in 2020 when we had another powerful timeline split, right? Where it felt like we were living in different realities depending on where our vibration, where our attention and our energy was. And that is going to get more and more pronounced as we move forward. But remember, it's going to be like we're looking in at each other. So we're going to be operating in different realities, but we're going to be able to see each other still, which allows us to be powerful examples for people who are not quite ready, but whose souls desire to step into that higher timeline. That's why it's so important to show up in our integrity, in our sovereignty, to show up and be those way showers and live and exemplify that energy. And I want to say hi to Celeste real quick, as well as Evelyn. Thank you so much for the roses, Evelyn, and Jen as well. I see Jen in there. Love you all so much. Appreciate you so very, very much. Hello, Victoria. Yeah, it's really amazing, Celeste. It's mind blowing. And the opportunity that we have in 2024 to step into that higher timeline. Like, this is a quantum leap. We've been talking about this, right? Quantum leap forward. Hello, Shayra, by the way. When it comes to our evolution, when it comes to our energy, when it comes to our experience on this planet. So really take the actions that exemplify the reality that you want to live in, right? And do everything that you can to maintain that vibration. And as we move forward here, and this is what I'm going to be doing with my one-on-one coaching sessions that I'm opening up. I keep thinking there needs to be like an official date where I like, this is when it's happening. But essentially, like, I'm ready when you guys are ready. So I have a limited number of one-on-one coaching spots available. If you want more information about that, please reach out to me. As we're moving through this first wave of my coaching, I am going to be offering like a very reasonable price point for people. So if you want to learn more about that, email me. We can set up a discovery call to talk about whether that's right for you. That's what I'm doing with these one-on-one coaching sessions, is people who really want to make sure that they are stepping into that ideal timeline, who really want to step into their sovereignty, who are ready to do that work necessary and to really apply themselves to this and have somebody who holds them accountable to that in a loving and compassionate way. Like, and wants to do that inner work too, right? Because there's a lot that's involved in this process. Like, reach out to me. And the online, or the community that I'm in the process of growing for everyone. Patreon was like phase one. That's the beginning of getting us together, but I'm creating something really beautiful for you guys. That's going to be about doing that on a group level together, where we're able to really like step into this and really own our sovereignty and make sure that we are aligned with that highest timeline. We are aligned with our higher selves, with that vibration, and moving forward as confidently as possible, because it's like, this is the time, you guys. This is the time. There's no better time than now. There's no other time than now, right? But like, this is it. So it's like, just let's run it. You know what I mean? It's this energy of like, and that's what Spirit's trying to show me right now. Be your own legend. Absolutely, Nizamudin. It's this energy of like, why are you waiting? You know, what are you waiting for? Like, that was the message that I clearly got when I was talking about like, I'll be introducing one-on-one coaching sessions soon. What are you waiting for? Why? Do it. Let's do it now. You know what I mean? And this is like what I've wanted to share with you guys. This is the energy. This is how the ego limits us. It tells us like, you're almost ready, but you're not quite ready yet. You know what I mean? We are all so much more ready than we realize. And that is my mission with everything I do with you guys, is to help you understand how incredibly ready you are, how incredibly prepared you are. Remember, what is that card that we get all the time? And maybe I'll pull from the Starseed Oracle. It's in the Starseed Oracle or the Work Your Light Oracle. It says you've been training for this for lifetimes, right? This is like the culmination of all of that effort. That's what's going on right now. That's what's happening. That's where we're at. It's that part of us, that false self, right, that we had to incarnate with in order to hold the density necessary to be present on this planet. That's the little voice that tells us that we're not ready. That's the little voice that tells us that we're not capable. All right. And so it's time to, what is it that we used to say in 12-step? We used to tell that little voice, thanks for sharing. Now shut the fuck up. And that's exactly what it is, you guys. That's what we got to do. All right. Well, now, I have learned as I've progressed along this spiritual journey that it's best to treat our ego a little bit more lovingly than that, because it's not trying to harm us. Okay. It's not trying to harm us. It's trying to keep us safe. Unfortunately, our ego's idea of how to keep us safe is to keep us small. All right. So like when we do aura hypnosis sessions, we train people to look at their ego as their inner child, right? And to nurture that, to give that love. And when we are loving to our ego, it works a lot better. Just as like when you're loving to a child, it works a lot better than when you yell at that child, right? And so it's like treating that ego with love and respect, but lovingly and respectfully asking it to step to the side so that we can do what it is that we came here to this planet to do. All right. We're going to pull some cards. Clear. From the Starseed Oracle. Change to less meat. Yeah, that's a really good. I have done that as well, Vita. I cut it out completely for a while. And then I went pescatarian. And now I'm mostly pescatarian. It depends. You know what I mean? We have to trust the process, and we also have to trust our bodies. You know, it's there's a lot of dark energy around me, and definitely around that industry. So whenever I eat any type of meat products or dairy products or anything like that, I send a wave of love through the food. I imagine that love rippling through the planet. I set that intention that I'm releasing myself from any dark contracts, any dark sorcery, any of that negative stuff, because it is like it is dark black magic that they're doing in these sites where they have this mass murder of these animals, right? I saw into it after I got back from my aura session. It was very, very dark. So I send love. I send a ripple of love and healing out to all of that. I try to be as selective as I can with that. But I know people who were vegan for like 5 years, 10 years, who have started eating a little bit of meat here or there, if they felt like it was supporting their bodies, because their bodies needed it at this time. And I know people who have been giving it up completely and going vegan right now because that's what their bodies need, right? Listen to your body, but set that intention with everything that you do, everything that you consume, that you do not consent to any of the black magic, that you do not consent to any of that lower vibrational energy. Because it's interwoven into everything here, right? We live in an inverted matrix. But we can't allow that to make us like afraid to live our lives either. We know that when we partake in any of these systems, but we partake from a place of love, from a place of sovereignty, we are alchemizing that energy as well. But we have to do it from that love, from that conscious level. If we're not doing it from that conscious level, then that's when we're falling into it. And hello, Vincent, by the way. Yeah, we had an awesome group hangout last night in the Patreon. We are enjoying that right now. Like I said, it's a stepping stone that's going to get us to where we're going next. And it is, I definitely encourage people to join if you want to be part of those group hangouts. We do those bi-weekly, where I just open up the Zoom and everyone can just talk and touch base with each other in a safe, sacred container. And then we do live energy activation calls on the other week. So that's what we're doing for right now, as I'm in the process of building this glorious space for us all to connect with each other. Hello, Sanal. Your dog just passed away yesterday. Oh, so sorry to hear that. They are our sacred companions. Our pets are beautiful, magical creatures. They are powerful transmuters of energy as well. There's just so much that they do for us. They really are our soulmates in a whole bunch of different ways. Nikki, I'm not doing personal questions right now. We're doing a collective reading here. Yes, absolutely, Michael. Honor it. Exactly. Hello, Celeste. Welcome. Great to see you. Man, I had the heat turned up in here. I know I always do this because I was still chilly, and now I'm like wicked hot, but it's going to be like a production to hold on. I probably am going to try to adjust this here. How's the sound on YouTube, by the way? All right, there we go. So we have I'm Sorry coming out. This is about making amends, righting past wrongs. And then we have the Child of the Cosmos. Ooh, 222, by the way, where I am, 222. So that should be an angel number for everybody, wherever they're located. That didn't work. Hold on, you guys. Bear with me. I think that's like the number one phrase I say to my son. You got to bear with me here. All right, great. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Stanley. Oh, thank you, Mariella. That was A friend of mine actually gave me that sweater and some other really cute articles of clothing. So I'm a big fan of that one. That's one of my favorites right now. It's nice to have some different colors. As you guys probably have noticed, I do wear a lot of black just because it's classic. It matches everything and it typically matches my mood. No, I'm just kidding. Going back to that irritability thing. Uh, we all have many facets, right? But I am a big fan of the black, but I am a big fan of color as well. It's just got to be the right color. You know what I mean? Like the color spectrum that I enjoy doesn't really, they don't really make clothing out of it. It's more of like those ultraviolet, those really, really vibrant colors that don't really translate that well into attire. So a lot of the time I just end up going for gray or black or something like that. So we have I'm Sorry and we have Child of the Cosmos. So this is like healing karma on a cosmic, on a quantum level right now, is what that feels like to me. Karmic healing and clearing. This is going deep into the ancestry right now. So this is where, let me feel into this. There's a powerful message here. This is the act of forgiveness, as well as the act of making amends where that energy is necessary. And it's like, this is the energy that is like setting our soul free right now. And we know, right, that one of the ways that they kept us trapped in this 3D matrix, right, in this inverted matrix, was through the energy of inverting, just like everything else, the energy of karma, right? Keeping us on this karmic wheel where we incarnate instead of clearing our energy, right, and healing as our souls are meant to do between lifetimes, so that we can come back in refreshed and rejuvenated, recycling us back into the matrix before that healing had completed, before we had had a chance to go back over the things that we had experienced in our lifetime, to make sense of them, to understand and internalize the lessons, just recycling us right back in. And so as a result of this, instead of clearing the karma and learning the lessons, we just keep repeating the same lessons and cycles over and over again. And the trauma just continues to get compounded. This is one of the things that they have done. This is one of the ways that they inverted this matrix. All right. And so it's like the act of clearing this karma, of healing these wounds, is so incredibly important. Because until we do this, we're not going to be able to ascend. We're not going to be able to break free from the inverted matrix. And Mariella, beautiful. I'm not doing personal readings on this particular live stream. We're doing a collective energy reading. Although a lot of times people will find answers to their questions either directly or indirectly, or perhaps through an awareness that comes through later as the result of some type of energy activation received during the call. So it's not to say you won't get your answer. It's just to say I'm not pulling directly for anyone. All right. So it's the importance of this, the importance of healing from that past karma. And this is reminding us, because this card says righting past wrongs. All right. So it's about the action that we're taking. It's not just about forgiving ourselves and forgiving the other people, but it's also about owning up to our own wrongs. And it's about taking the action necessary. And this is what, and I know I refer to 12-step a lot because I was in a 12-step program. I was very intensely involved in 12-step for 5 years. When I got clean, it was a big, big part of my life for a long time. And there's a lot of really useful information that we get taught there. And so the amends, which is one of the 12 steps, it's like what they just explained to you is that it's not about saying I'm sorry. It's about taking an action to amend the situation. And sometimes that action is just about living differently. And that's how we really clear the karma, by living differently. It's like by gaining the awareness, okay, this is a repeating theme in my life. This is a repeating situation. Say different players, same story, right? So what can I learn from this? What am I missing? How can I act differently in order to get a different result? How can I treat myself differently? How can I treat others differently? How can I ensure that others are treating me differently? And a lot of times people treat us, and this is not, I don't like making blanket statements, right? But it is true that oftentimes that we get the love that we believe we deserve. All right. And so it's like it starts with us treating ourselves with respect. And that then commands respect from other people. It starts with us. It's like, how does spirit want me to say this? One thing that's been coming up for me too is like it's not so much about like looking at somebody and being like, okay, this person needs to change. Okay, this person, like this person is whatever. It's like focusing on what the other person's doing. It's like there's always we have a side to that as well. It takes two to tango, as they say. There's something within that energy dynamic that we need to own. It's not just about the other person owning their stuff, it's about us owning our stuff as well. And so for some of it's like we're getting a chance to like understand that, right? We're getting a chance to see that, to see like what is it that I have up until now been incapable of owning. Where do I need to own my part in these specific situations? And this is part of being sovereign, right? Is taking responsibility for our energy, taking responsibility for our experience by understanding, like, yes, I just talked about this energy of the false matrix and the recycling of souls, right? With all the trauma and all of this. And, but just because that's happening, that doesn't mean we don't have any power. The reason that's been able to happen the way it's happened for so long was because people were unconscious that it was going on. And they were unconscious of their own power as souls, right? We're conscious of that. No, we know that. And so it's this energy of like, when you know better, you do better. And that's kind of like the theme here in general. When you know better, you do better. So where in our lives do we know better? And where are we now being called to do better? And another phrase that Spirit's throwing into my mind right now is the energy of like, you teach that which you most need to learn, right? We teach that which we most need to learn. So sometimes there's a hidden lesson for us, or a deeper version of a lesson in the things that we teach others. All right. And yes, Spirit, I am making a note of everything I'm saying right now. And yes, I am applying it to my own life and energy. Just want to make sure that Spirit's aware that I'm aware, right? So it's like there's a powerful spiritual upleveling and upleveling of our energy that's possible when we really take responsibility for our creations, when we really take responsibility of our part in situations. And then we write that situation by behaving differently, by taking ownership and then living our lives differently. All right, I got to go turn. Actually, can I do this? It's kind of a pain with this headphone, this set. I'm going to go turn. Everybody else is experiencing that right now, like feeling really hot or really cold, or alternating between hot and cold. Exactly. We are not victims. Yeah. Oh, nice. Vincent says, yeah, he incorporated the moral inventory from 12 step. Absolutely. There's so much good, like there's so many gems there. It was so funny. Like when I first came into 12 step recovery, I sat down in the meetings, I started reading the steps because they have them hanging on the wall in a lot of meetings. And I looked at them and I said, basically what I'm reading right now is the blueprint to a spiritual awakening. I said, this will probably work. I'd read a lot of different books and been exposed to a lot of different books teaching you how to have a spiritual awakening. And it's the same blueprint all the time. They just took it and numbered it and made it as simple and straightforward as possible, because addicts tend to complicate the hell out of everything, right? And so I was like, yeah, that'll probably work. All right, I'll stick around. We'll try it out. You know what I mean? And it did. It was great. It was beautiful. But it only took me so far. And after I got as far as 12 step could take me, that's when the rest of my spiritual journey really began, because I needed more. But it definitely, I will always have a soft spot in my heart for 12-step recovery because it's so beautiful. And I don't specify the fellowship that I was a part of because that's technically breaking traditions. I know some people do that, but we're not supposed to be spokespeople for any type of fellowship, right? Because then people associate us with that fellowship, and depending on what happens with us, they make judgments about that fellowship depending on what I say. You know, I dropped a couple F-bombs in this live stream. Somebody could look at that and say like that program endorses swearing because I'm speaking for that program. So it's I was very, like I said, very heavily involved. I did a lot of service. I know the traditions. I know, like, I still follow them to this day, out of respect. But sweating or freezing when something like the eclipse and equinox are going on half print. Hello, Lauren, welcome. Yeah, so you're feeling that. Yeah, and I don't know if I felt it during the eclipse necessarily, but I'm definitely feeling it now. Like, and it's gotten quite a bit warmer here. You know, like I live in New England, so it's not like warm by any means. And I live in Maine. All right, so I'm like at the top. So it's cold, but it has been warming up significantly, and I've still felt really cold. And then, like I said, I turn up the heat, and then all of a sudden I'm way too hot. So I'm glad to hear some other people are experiencing that as well. Hello, Kyle, welcome. Hello, average good daddy. Clear. Vincent. Yeah. Oh, it's because you're sizzling, Stanley says. I love you, Stanley. All right, so we have big picture thinking here, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. That's that Uranian. That's when Jupiter and Uranus meet together. Like there, if I were to create a planetary alignment for inspiration, all right, I would add Neptune into the mix too. So I would bring together Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. All right. So we got 2 of the 3 here, you guys. And who knows, maybe they're making an aspect to Neptune. We're not going to get into that right now. I don't think they're making a major aspect to Neptune, but Neptune being in Pisces there, but those would be the 3 planets. So we got 2 of the 3. And so with Uranus, as opposed to say like Jupiter and Neptune would be like these daydreamy kind of flowing visions. With Uranus and Jupiter, it's like these dynamic strokes of genius. All right, these visionary ideas that literally just drop into our head out of nowhere. And they're completely like Neptune will be more idealistic with Jupiter. Uranus with Jupiter is very like something that's never been done before, but in a way that is revolutionary. And in a way that is, I'm not going to say that idealistic ideas don't work, right? But I'm going to say that revolutionary, like Uranian type ideas, because Uranus rules Aquarius, right? And so this is the energy, the planet and the sign that represents being able to see things in a way that nobody else can, and being able to come up with solutions that other people haven't been able to because they're not able to see from the expanded perspective. All right. So these are like ideas and solutions that are going to work. Although they're going to require a leap of faith, right? I know, I saw that, Annika. So we have the void coming up here, the great cosmic womb. And then we have wait. It's not yet time, things are being woven. All right, so there's a really powerful message here that I think is pretty clear, right? It's not yet the time for something. And so this could be the visionary idea that's coming through for some people. It's like, it's not quite time to bring it into fruition, but it is time to start taking the steps and planning. You know, I can use, for instance, I told you guys about the more in-depth membership group that I'm creating for you guys right now, right? So that's something that's not ready yet. It's not time yet. It's still being woven. The ideas are being generated. The framework is being created. The steps are being taken, but it's not yet ready to be brought into fruition. There are other things, like I'm getting inspiration for courses right now that I want to create. So many things, but it's like they're still in the visionary stage. All right. And so I'm just using that as a real life example. right? There's something going on for each and every one of us that is still in the visionary stage, but this is still an important stage. Remember, the energy is so malleable right now. We are quantum leaping through timelines. Like, these inspirations are important, but it's also about like creating that framework, building on them, writing them down, allowing them to continue to gestate, right? The cosmic womb. There we go. That's the card I was looking for, trying to point at there. All right. Allowing them to gestate, allowing them to continue to take form, to grow. And if you're in a period right now where you're not even, you've created, you've done all of that work already, and you're waiting, but something still hasn't fully taken form, like you really feel like you've moved through those phases and you're ready to birth it into the world, but something just isn't lining up yet. It's just not quite time yet. And if you're in a place where you feel like you are just like swimming in the void, and you know, it's like you can feel this energy shift, you can feel the electricity, you can feel the activation, but nothing's coming through, nothing's happening yet. Maybe the inspiration isn't even coming through yet. It's like you feel the energy of inspiration, but the direct inspiration hasn't been channeled through yet. It's okay. This is meant to be a period. We have the star bathing underneath that. All right. The light body activations. There is so much that is going on right now in the unseen. So our responsibility is just to continue to show up, to continue to take care of ourselves. All right. To continue to embrace the not knowing, embrace the void, embrace the energy where nothing feels like it's happening, and yet at the same time everything feels like it's happening, right? It's kind of an interesting conundrum, an interesting paradox, if you will. Just trust it. Just know that, like, if the circumstances haven't aligned perfectly for you to take action on that thing in the way that you want yet, it's because there are still things that need to come together. Or if you've been putting consistent, committed action into something, but it hasn't quite given you the results that you are desiring, it's because there are still steps that need to be taken. There are still things that need to come together in the unseen in order to bring that through in the way that it's meant to be brought through. So just trust it. Trust the timing. Trust yourself. All right, Vincent, great to see you. Great to have you on here, brother. All right. That's all it's about. It's like this, the energy of faith, right? Having faith in that energy of suspended animation. Don't try to push something that's not ready yet. Don't try to force something. You know, it's like the old analogy of baking the cake. Like, you don't pull the cake out of the oven halfway through the like before the timer goes off. All right, unless you're really sure that cake is done. Because nobody wants to eat a half-baked cake. Yeah. You know, and that's kind of, like I said, like, we're having a lot of fun and we're really enjoying the Patreon, those of us who are on it right now. But I kind of did that with the Patreon. I really wanted a space for you guys, for us all to be able to connect. And I kind of put it out there half-baked, just to get something out there, to get us that connection point, you know. And now I'm in the process of continuing to bake the cake. And we're all going to have different ways that we relate to that analogy in different areas where the cake is baked or not baked, right? But it's like, let the cake finish baking. In a lot of these analogies, you are the cake, right? So let yourself finish baking and be content in that process. Allow yourself to feel safe and warm in that process. All right. Don't try to force anything right now. The energies, it's just move into alignment with your soul. All right. And ride the ride. I'm half baked, Annika says. I mean, really, who isn't, to be completely honest with you, right? Oh, on the bottom of the deck, we have karmic relationships. All right. So this is really the first card that we had karmic closures and energies coming out here. So this is a big energy here. This energy of wrapping up these karmic cycles. All right. This could also be somebody who's on here. I told people their questions would be answered. There could be somebody also who had a love question, and you're dealing with a karmic. And remember, karmic relationships. So we talked about the wheel of karma in the negative sense, right? And the way that the archons have used that to entrap us, right? But karma in and of itself is not negative. It is not inherently negative or positive. It just is. And a lot of us think of karma as like the cause and effect. And it is. But karma is the sum of all of our multidimensional experiences. That's what karma is. It's really interesting. So I've been reading this. I'm not doing personal readings. I'm doing a collective reading right now. I've been reading a book on the evolutionary axis in astrology, which, hello, Dan, welcome, which involves Pluto, the nodes of fate, and Uranus. And it's really interesting the way they talk about this and really like hammer in this understanding of karma as the complete sum of all of our experiences on all levels of our being. All right. And so like as we incarnate, as we move through all of these different cycles, we are essentially just continuing to deepen that experience, wrapping up the lessons, deepening our learning, deepening our wisdom. That's all that karma is. Karma is the sum of all of those experiences. And so when we have these karmic relationships, they are assisting us in completing an experience. Okay, that's all it is. So like a lot of people look at karmic relationships, and it's like karmic partners have gotten this almost like they're like a dirty word or something. Like we think about them as like the bad guy or the scapegoat, and that's not what it is at all. Karmic relationships are beautiful because they're helping us to complete something. They're helping us to learn something. We don't want to get stuck in the unlearning. All right. That's where karmic relationships turn toxic, is when like we refuse to learn the lesson and we're just repeating the same behavior. All right. When we can learn that lesson, our karmic relationships can sometimes end up beautiful as well if we both learn the lesson and we both are willing to move on from that place. Yeah. Time, yeah, to an extent, time heals. I don't know that I fully agree with that, Dan. Time makes wounds hurt less. But if we don't allow ourselves to fully feel those wounds and learn the lessons from those experiences, then those wounds will simply lie in our unconscious and continue to affect us, right? Like Carl Jung says about the unconscious, right? Until we make the unconscious conscious, it will dictate our lives and we will call it fate. It's the same thing with our wounds. All right. So we still need to allow ourselves to heal them. We still need to I hate the word process them, but we need to allow ourselves to feel them in order to heal them. We need to understand the significance of them and why they occurred so that we can learn those lessons, so that we can complete that karma. All right. But time does make most things hurt less. I'll put it that way. Earl. Oh, interesting. Your name is Earl. Oh, no, that's the show. My name is Earl. Okay, Dan. I was like, wait a minute. So why do you call yourself? Who are you? Are you Dan or are you Earl? I used to watch My Name is Earl. Do good things and good things happen. I mean, that is like, you can't really argue with that, right? We do get out. I mean, that is an aspect of what we would call karma, right? That really, I think that's more like one of the basic laws of the universe than it is karma, actually. But it's this idea that we do get out what we do get what we back what we put out, you know? So because that's the vibration, that's the frequency, that's the energy that we're putting out that returns to us. Carson Daly. I remember Carson Daly. You're really taking me back right now, Dan. Oh, the good old days. I don't know why. Oh, that made me think of Jon Stewart. I used to love Jon Stewart. And Stephen Colbert. That used to be like when I was like half awakened, that was where I got my news and everything like that, was from watching the Daily Show and the Colbert Report. Yeah. You know, I mean, And see, that's the thing is like we talk a lot about a lot of serious and heavy stuff on here sometimes, you guys, but we can't take ourselves or this experience too seriously, right? Like we are infinite beings. And this ascension is happening regardless. It's going to happen a lot quicker if we keep a lighter energy and attitude. If we laugh at ourselves, if we laugh with each other, you know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely. Like laughter is good for the soul. You know, sometimes we just need to lighten things up a little bit. And that's why we laugh and we make a lot of jokes on here at the same time that we're talking about serious stuff, because it's like we can't take things seriously without having to be overly serious. You know what I mean? Absolutely, Celeste. How do you say that? How do you say your name? Is it Celeste? Is it Celeste? I'm curious. Yes, absolutely, Stanley. I love that. We chose ourselves. Yes, we chose ourselves. There was a reading that I did recently. I can't remember which one it was, when I was talking about the energy of the chosen ones and how it was that we chose, but also that we came down here and we knew that when we came down here we would choose God, which is essentially choosing ourselves as well, right? Because we are God. We are fractals of God. I don't know, that was really powerful. What was that? What video was that in? Does anyone remember? That was one of the recent videos that came out. I was going to actually take a clip out of that and upload it for TikTok as well, because that was really powerful. That was a really powerful message that came through. Hello, Raymond. I'm so grateful for this tribe too. I'm grateful for all of you. Hello, Ploon, by the way. I don't think I said hello to you. Never Ending Story. Oh, there's a good one. I don't know if you meant that as like a reference to the old school movie, but the Never Ending Story was amazing. I just saw Star Family and Called, right? And you guys are my star family. I love you so much. I appreciate you so much. You are all so beautiful, clear, truly, infinitely. I have my next class that I'm doing here in the next 10 minutes. So I'm going to probably get going. Let's pull like a closing card for the live stream though. I love this. I remember on the bottom of the deck, soul plan. All right. And we are, as we move forward, and this is something that I'm feeling coming through for this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction as well. And this is the energy of like spontaneous rememberings, spontaneous past life, future life recall. All right. Yeah, I just feel these spontaneous rememberings happening for people. So that's going to be really beautiful as well. And this may happen. So it may happen on a conscious level. It may happen on an unconscious level. And if it happens on an unconscious level, what that means is that we're still being affected by that. Our vibration, our frequency, even our thoughts, and like every aspect of our being is still being impacted by that. It's just happening in a more subtle way that we may not consciously recognize right off the bat. Kind of like the energy of when we just talked about the Jung quote, but this is in a positive way, where it's like it's within our super consciousness and now within our unconscious, and it's influencing us in a positive manner, but we may not necessarily directly remember it. Some people might though, and that's going to be pretty cool for the people that do. Some people it might come through in a dream or something like that. So pay attention to your dreams. If you're having really vivid dreams and you're feeling to yourself like, I feel like this is really happening, or this really has happened, this is not just a dream, trust yourself on that, as of course we always do, right? I want to pull for everyone a white light oracle card. And Michael, I'm not going to have time to pull a crystal card. If you're on the live stream, which you almost always are, I know you want a crystal card, and I don't have time because I do want to really pull one of these, but I will pull one and I will upload it in the community tab what the crystal was for us to work with. Clear. And I'll do a little post on TikTok for you guys as well with the crystal for the week. All right. Let's get some energy as we're moving towards this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in these current energies, or for anybody. Well, no, Michael, like a crystal. Would you go out and buy it? Do you do that when we read the crystal cards sometimes? Go out and buy the crystal if you don't have it. You can use a clear quartz. and program it. Just know that you can, you program your clear quartz to take on the qualities of that crystal. All right. What guidance do we have for whoever's watching this, whenever they're watching it as well? Just know, like, there are still messages in here for you. Even if you're watching this like a year. Sometimes I go back. It was interesting. I started watching, but I didn't have time to finish it. The reading that I did for the Ring of Fire hybrid solar eclipse, which was one of the eclipses from the that created the Aleph, right? With the 2017 and the 2024 that everyone was talking about, the Hebrew letter for the Alpha, right? I started rewatching that, and then I had other stuff that I had to do, so I had to stop. But I was just, sometimes it's interesting to see the messages that came through in the past and like how they're working with the current energies. And for everyone on TikTok, like there's a massive library. I have over 800 videos on YouTube of all this different stuff. And so like, check it out. I definitely encourage you to check it out. Call my dreams weirdo world. Seriously, I'm thinking you're dimensionally traveling. Of course you are. Of course you are, Dan. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Some people do, we all do it. Some people do it more consciously than others. All right. That's why we always want to fall asleep setting that intention to set our Merkaba. All right, which is, the Merkaba looks like this. It is a triangle upright, taking in energy, and a downward pointing triangle, releasing energy. They're spinning around. You're in the center. You're this is the soul energy in the center of the Merkaba. That is your interdimensional traveling tool. I don't know if you guys could see that on YouTube, so I'll show the two triangles. It's actually an 8-pointed star. So you place yourself in that before you go to sleep. Hello, I am. Love the name, by the way. Hello, Heather. Neverending Story 2 is coming out. Yes, I heard that. Hello, Clara. Oh, okay. We have somebody in the chat there talking about my armpits, huh? Sending you love, darling. Sending you love. All right. So we have, oh, this is really interesting. So we have Archon Barbalo, and then we have Anapausis. And so it's interesting. We talk about the archons, right, as the dark beings that rule the matrix. I'm curious what Archon Barbalo is in this, because this would be, of course, these are all meant to be benevolent beings. So I'm really fascinated to see what this is about here. And who just said hello there? Hello, Scorpio. And hello, was that Onyx Queen, Lisa? Hello, Lisa. Great to see you, beautiful. Let's see here. Where are we? 10. Okay, so let's see what Archon Barbalo has to say. Barbello, maybe? Getting fed up with your dreams lately. I had a really weird dream last night, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't anything super, I don't know. It was just a weird dream. There didn't feel like it was just like, you know how you have those dreams? Hello, Amber. Welcome, beautiful. You know how you have those dreams where, like, you can tell it's just your subconscious sorting things out. There's not, like, you know, when you're actually like having a dream that's really happening, when you're actually interdimensionally traveling, when a loved one is coming to visit you, something like that. And then, you know, when your subconscious is just working some shit out. So that's what I had going on last night. It was really, really strange dream, though. Really strange, mildly disturbing. Yeah, definitely a troll, Annika. I watched a really weird video last night. I wish Vincent was still on here. I don't know why this is, I'm thinking of this right now. It was really, really bizarre. That I don't want to talk about it right now, actually. We'll get into that maybe in a different live stream. It was really, really strange, though. I don't know why. It's like while I'm holding the Archon Barbalo cards, let's see what this has to say. Let's see what this has to say. Your biology and gender are creative and powerful means for you to express your soul path. Sometimes you may feel limited by gender constraints or stereotypes, but your spirit can never be restricted or controlled. Embrace the journey of what it feels like to be you in your own body. There is so much benefit and healing to be gained through an embrace of your life journey, including the deeper experience of the absolute freedom of your spirit. Okay. So in this book, Archon Barbelo is described or Barbelo, I like that better, is described as an angel, goddess, divine mother, and sacred space who is mysterious and powerful, the inviolable purity and truth of your being, the spiritual essence within you that is eternal and cannot be tainted or distorted. Interesting. Her presence in a reading is a sign that any errors in judgment shall be corrected and any losses shall be restored. So this is like justice coming through, right? Kind of like the justice card if we were to pull that in a reading. If you have been off your path or become disconnected from your real self, she is the innate understanding and power within your heart that pulls you back into authentic connection and true direction. Archon Barbelo teaches the soul the mystery of how we can be in a male or female body and yet have characteristics of both the masculine and feminine within us. So this is about what is going on here? Inactivity during my live. Drag the puzzle piece into place for Christ's sake. Okay. I don't know why it says inactivity. That was really bizarre. Whatever. Continuing on here. So this is about harmonizing our masculine and feminine, right? She also helps us to understand how our androgynous spiritual essence can embrace masculine and feminine energies to accomplish its higher purpose. The spiritual existence is beyond gender and is not altered by it in any way. And isn't it interesting how, like, in the mass media right now, they're really pushing us to over-identify with gender. You know what I mean? When honestly, as we move into a more ascended space, it's more about the amorphous energy of embracing the masculine and feminine, both of those essences within us, right? But it's like they're causing people to hyper focus upon that, right? And to really hinge a big part of their identity or essence on that energy. Oh, thank you, Shayra. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. Go ahead and do whatever. Don't allow them to distract you, though. Don't allow them to steal your energy, right? Because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to steal your energy. And this is somebody that's been in here multiple times, honestly. So maybe after this is over, I'll block them so they can't access the channel anymore, because that's not the first time I've seen that name. And I'm sure, like, if they're behaving this way once, I'm sure they'd behave this way. I kind of block out that energy afterwards. Like, you have to kind of have a thick skin when you're on social media to any extent. You know what I mean? Like, you can't indulge in their energies too much. So a lot of times I just kind of like forget as soon as we're people, but I recognize that name, and so it probably would be proactive just to block them from the channel. This is a troll we have going on YouTube right now, so that way they don't return, right? Because we don't need that energy. It's just a distraction, right? That's just those, funny how we have this card, right? Those are just those archonic distractions to try to pull us off of our path and our trajectory and confuse the energy. And we're not about that. Yeah. And I'm sorry to hear about anybody getting scammed by a healer. I'm not doing personal questions or anything like that. If you would like assistance from somebody who is authentic, like, never accept a message from me, first of all, especially people on TikTok, because I have been made aware of fake accounts on TikTok from me or anybody. If anybody is messaging you, offering you healing services through a DM or something like that, like just randomly showing up in your inbox, don't trust that. It's 99.9% of the time, of course, that is a scam. Okay. And so don't trust that energy. If you would like actual genuine assistance with your healing process, the entity removal and the aura hypnosis healing sessions that I do are so powerful, and they really truly can help people. So reach out to me if you would like assistance with that, or any type of personal reading or anything like that. I cannot do that right now. My heart goes out to you. I'm sorry that you were scammed. I'm sorry that happened to you. It's so there's so many scam artists out there right now. It's really, really difficult to sometimes discern with all of that. Let's see. We're just gonna do this for right now. Oh wait, that was just the message. All right, there we go. There we go. I put them in a timeout and they'll get blocked later. I love that you can put people in timeouts on here. It's like, because why do we do this? We do this because they are acting like a child. So it makes perfect sense that we would put them in timeout. It just makes me chuckle every time. I think I had to do that to one other person on a live stream, the timeout thing. It's just so funny. It's, you know what I mean? Like the whole, yeah. I mean, I wasn't even allowing them to like mess up my flow. So honestly, like I wasn't even reading the messages anymore because I knew they were spammy. But good job, you guys. Like, good job keeping that space safe and sacred. And hello, beautiful Jen. Hello, and hello, Christina. All right. Let's see. And hello, Care, by the way. My beautiful, beautiful sister. So continuing on with this is all about embracing the masculine and the feminine, the androgyny of spirit, as they call it. When a connection to the androgyny of the spirit is experienced authentically, there is no rejection of the biology of the body, nor of the gender-based experiences that the soul has chosen to fulfill in its spiritual mission. We can enjoy our inner masculine and feminine energies and engage with them to create, celebrate, grow spiritually, and heal our soul. Every soul has a unique path, and yet every soul is here to find the way home to divine love and inner truth. The feminine energies in every soul empower our ability to embrace what is and find compassion. This allows for the mercy, forgiveness, and wisdom that start with what is and hold space for evolution into what can be. And remember, acceptance is the alchemy of change. All right? Or it is the energy of alchemy. Until we accept something, we cannot alchemize it. We cannot shift it. Because when we refuse to accept something, we are in an energy of resistance. All right? That doesn't mean that we just give ourselves over to it, right? Like, we'll use an example of like if we are experiencing a lack of abundance, right? Like, we have to accept that that's where we're at. You know, okay, I am in I am experiencing a state of lack right now. That's where I'm at. If I resist it, if I fight it, if I just rail against it and get angry and get frustrated and you know what I mean, don't do it, don't change anything, like that's where I'm going to get stuck. But if I accept it and I say, okay, this is where I'm at, then from that place, then I can begin to shift. Then I can begin to change. But I have to first accept, all right, this is what it is. Because then when I accept this is what it is, I can say, okay, what can I do to shift this then? All right. So it's like with anything, we have to accept first, but it's not like we accept it and we say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I am. I guess I'm always going to be here and there's nothing that I can do about it. Right. That's not what acceptance is. That is defeat. All right. But that is different. So it's like we acknowledge it. And then we say, all right, so it's like acknowledging what is essentially acceptance. Acknowledging what is and not fighting it, but simply allowing it to be the experience that is currently occurring. And then saying, all right, so where am I going to go from here? What am I going to do? And it's more about like, what am I called to do? And this is where the connection to our soul comes in, because then we can sit, like, if we're refusing to accept it, it's very unlikely that we have the ability to just like relax and chill and connect in with our spirit and figure out where it is that we're meant to go next, right? Because we're too caught up in the frustration. When we can accept it, then we're able to experience a point or a space of neutrality. And from that space of neutrality, we are then able to receive the energy of where to go next, the information about where to go next. Yeah, good job with that, you guys. All right, so let's see. The masculine energies in every soul encourage exploration, development, and inquiry, stimulating us to question everything, which can lead to discernment and higher understanding and keep us strong. This ensures that negativities are banished from our personal space before they can undermine our personal healing and spiritual progress, just like we banish that negativity from our personal space, right? Archon Barbalo helps us fully experience the masculine and feminine principles as creative, interesting, and powerful methods of expression rather than definitions of who we are. The value of the body, of gender, and biology as ways for the soul to experience and express itself is complemented by the freedom that comes with understanding the spiritual part of you that is entirely free from constructs of any kind. You can retreat to the sacred, pure, untouchable place within when you need to replenish your reserves of wisdom and willpower for your life journey. Connecting with this part of you can remind you that whilst your life journey and your experiences are important and help you to grow, they do not determine who and what you are. You exist in the realm of Archon Barbalo, the pure light of divine presence. Your spirit is always nestled beneath her radiant wings. Yet to shine that light in the world where it is most needed requires you to have a soul journey as a human being and a physical body with biology and gender. If you have any concerns about this or wish to bring healing to those who have such concerns, this oracle brings encouragement. Ask for help and healing from the divine spirit for that all souls find truth in their journey, blessed with mercy, wisdom, grace, and compassion. So this is a really interesting reading, right? And there's a lot of stuff here that obviously is like very touchy, right? These are some touchy subjects here, especially in our current climate. But we do see the ways that this energy and this natural struggle that people do go through is being inverted, right? And the ways that it's causing us, like we said, to over-identify with one aspect of our journey. That prevents us from experiencing that unity of the both of the essences of our being. So there's a lot there that I don't necessarily feel called to unpack right now. But there's definitely significance in that journey. And I think that really, like, to me, what when we have those confusions, right, or that disparity where we don't feel at home in the body we're in, it's because our soul is typically used to incarnating in another form, right? As the other gender. And so when we come into this body, our soul chose this body in this lifetime, but we don't really remember that, and it doesn't quite fit because it's not where we generally gravitate. Because it has been shown, like with Dolores Cannon when she did her the regression sessions and all of that with the QHHT, what she found was that most souls have a preference, right? They prefer incarnating as in a biologically male or biologically female body. A lot of us do have a preference for that, just like currently we have preferences for colors that we like, music that we like, foods that we like, you know what I mean? Like, we have a preference when it comes to that too. And I think that people can feel really lost sometimes when they incarnate in the gender that they're not used to incarnating into. And I think that what this reading says is valid, but I also think it's valid that some people incarnated to have that experience of having what do they call it when gender dysphoria, or I'm not sure what the exact word for that is, but I think some souls came to have that experience of being transgender as well, and everything that entails. That is a learning and a growth experience as well. You know what I mean? But it's all about allowing people to have these organic growth experiences without trying to like push an experience on them. And I feel like in some ways, like, that is what society's doing right now, right? It's kind of like forcing people into a crisis that they likely may not have had. You know what I mean? But that's all part of this learning and evolution as well. This is part of it's all part of the soul journey that we're all having, right? And it's an opportunity to step deeper into sovereignty. Everything is an opportunity to step deeper into sovereignty. So, I have a lot of love and compassion to anybody who is, that's something that, like, I haven't personally experienced, so I can't personally speak to that. I can't imagine, like, how much I know just when my body shifts and changes, you know what I mean? Just when I weigh different amounts or things like that, I feel less at home in my body when it doesn't look and it doesn't feel a way that's familiar to me. When I was pregnant, that was really hard. It was like living in somebody else's body and afterwards. So I can only imagine, like, the pain and trauma that would feel like if you quite literally felt like the gender that you had incarnated into was not like you were living in somebody else's body. You know what I mean? That's a very challenging soul lesson to decide to come down here and incarnate and learn. Um, but I do know, and I can speak to the importance of harmonizing those polarities within us, and the importance of harmonizing the masculine and the feminine energies and essences, and how it's that unification of energies and essences within each and every single one of us that is absolutely key to this ascension process and to the creation process as well. And the ways, remember, one of the powerful things that shifted and was healed during that total solar eclipse was the war between the genders, right? The masculine and the feminine, the ways these energies have been twisted and inverted, right? The ways that they have been kind of inverted from their divine nature, right? And the ways that they have been essentially put at odds with each other, at war with each other. And I think that yeah, oh, isn't that interesting? It's kind of like that is an external play, if you will, or an external way that this warring of the two energies or genders is like, that's like a way that internal struggle is externalized, is something interesting that's coming through right now. But yeah, so essentially, like what we're being recommended to do right now is to harmonize the masculine and feminine within ourselves, right? And anapausis, we are definitely going over time right now. So I'm just going to take a quick peek at this and see what this is all about. Let's see. This is about allowing our heart to disengage from struggles without giving up. This is about taking the rest that we need, allowing ourselves to be in a phase of recovery. Oh, isn't this so interesting? Both of these cards recommend or reference being off your path. And so there's, for anybody right now who feels like they have wandered off their path, who's worrying that they're falling behind, so to speak, when it comes to their evolution, like I feel like Spirit is like very clearly right now. Sorry, I got to plug in my laptop here so it doesn't die. I feel like Spirit is very clearly and unequivocally wanting to let people know that you have not fallen behind. All right. You are meant to be resting and rejuvenating. There are periods of rest and rejuvenation and healing inherent in every journey. And sometimes it's like, honor that phase. Don't push yourself because you think that you should be further along, right? Or that you're falling behind. You're not falling behind. You are right on time. You are right where you're supposed to be. All right. So just know that's trusting in divine timing, right? You will regain your spark of passion, inspiration, and devotion. A certain order of events needs to take place for your soul path to come to fruition. And isn't that what we got with the void and the like this same message we got earlier, right? Commit yourself to your sacred journey, trusting that the right thing will happen at the right time. All right. The Greek word anapausis refers to the cessation of work so one can regain strength, renew vitality, and heighten creative productivity. It is a rest for success. The Oracle of Anapausis advises physical, emotional, and psychological rest to reset yourself. That might mean switching off without fear or guilt. It is likely to mean giving up worries and the constant replay of anxiety-ridden speculations. Find some spaciousness and pleasure within and around yourself so you may experience healing and renewal. If you have been considering working with a healer, this is confirmation to pursue such a path. And like I said, for those who are interested, I offer, different types of healing sessions. I also offer now one-on-one coaching sessions. So email me. My information is in the description box below. Not necessarily saying I'm the one you need to work with, but if you have been thinking about working with a healer, reach out to them, whoever they are, or just set that intention to be open to the right person, finding the right person in the right time, right? And also know that you are your own healer. So you may be the healer that you need to work with. And the way that you need to work with yourself may simply be by allowing yourself to get more rest, by giving yourself that space for the healing process to occur. Okay. This oracle also recommends finding spiritual rest, even if you are still working hard. Spiritual rest happens when we take sanctuary in the sacred. We give up trying to become something or other and instead tend fully to the task at hand, completely engaged in the moment. When we do so, we are trusting that the universe knows what it is doing and that we are part of a greater unfolding plan. In modern culture, we can aspire to become someone visible, someone influential, someone powerful, someone important. Yet, no matter how much worldly or even spiritual power a person may appear to have, the idea that one person is more important than another belongs to the realm of ego. A fucking men, right? Spirit loves and respects all beings equally. What our world needs are more people who are spiritually connected to their hearts. As you become such a being, others will seek you out. You don't need to set yourself up as being anything at all. You can enjoy the relief of giving up any obsession with appearances or external validation. Instead, dive deep into the nourishing inner calm of your own soul and trust in all that is and all that shall be. Free from distracting and disempowering pursuits, you may connect, rest, and restore yourself with a real sense of your spiritual beauty, value, and presence. In the space of restful immersion, ooh, I like that, you realize you are enough. And a Pausis brings special guidance for those who have been going through deeply challenging struggles of mind, body, and soul. Perhaps you feel exhausted, confused, and afraid. Even if you are still going strong in the outer world, you have a need for spiritual convalescence. You are encouraged to allow yourself adequate rest and to engage in activities geared toward healing. This oracle recognizes there is something you have been working hard to bring into being. That I love when it just wraps up everything we were talking about, right? With a little more trust in your spiritual connection, you'll find the way easier and more joyful. You don't need to push yourself so hard. Spirit can sustain you through your devotion and commitment so that every effort you make is more than matched by the inflow of spiritual grace. Don't allow your mind or the deranged ways of this world to create weariness and yet another drama. Take rest in the spiritual light of love, rest from fear, rest from anxiety, rest from needing to work it all out right now. Even on your most confusing or most productive days, you can find renewal in spirit. It is always available to you, even right now. And I think that's a perfect way to end this live stream today. Hello, J Love, by the way. Anyone on TikTok, you can find the entirety of this live stream on YouTube. So if you would like to go and rewatch it, go ahead and check me out on YouTube. Oh, 2.2K on TikTok for the likes. I love that. I've had those repeating those angel numbers have been just like off the chain lately. I don't know how you guys, if you guys have been experiencing those, but I've been seeing them everywhere. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's so cool. I love you. I honor you. I respect you. I'm so glad those are resonating for you, Shayra. Yeah. Beautiful. Exactly like Stanley said, we're always in the right place at the right time. Carl, welcome. Great to see you. Great to see you, my brother. All right. Yeah, you guys are amazing. I love you so much. Enjoy this energy. Hello, Magic Bones. See the patterns with the numbers every day. Yes, this means we are in alignment. We are in the flow. It also means that sometimes that we are receiving DNA activations, especially when we see the 144. That's a major sign of DNA activation, by the way. The 144,000, that also represents to a series represents or refers to a series of DNA activations as we move toward ascension. So just keep noticing those signs, keep noticing those synchronicities. Hello, Dee. Oh, love you so much. Appreciate you so much. We are sending you so much love and support. Thank you, Michael. I will talk to you all very soon. All right. Love, love, love. 122. I would have signed off at 122, but I dragged my feet on stuff. So we're still going, but it was 122 a second ago. Or we were on here for 1 hour and 22 minutes anyway. I know. So much for the 45-minute live stream, right, you guys? You saw 144 and watching this. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Yeah, the angel numbers, they're just ridiculous right now. But of course they are, right? Where this is April's the most powerful gateway we're going to be experiencing all year. This entire year is a powerful gateway of energy, but April especially. So capitalize on it. Make the most of it, you guys. All right. 222 at your house right now. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Love you all on TikTok. Go ahead and hop onto YouTube if you guys want to see the live stream. It was really good. It was a really powerful one today. Sending you all much love. All right. And everyone here on YouTube, love you, honor you, respect you, talk to you soon.